This is Arise News. We interrupt this program for a live event.
Because Moji, we're both children of Africa and children of Lagos. And you know that Lagos' destiny is so important for Nigeria, but it's so important for Africa. This is Lagos Invest 3.0, the gateway to Africa.
Absolutely, and what better way to begin than on that powerful note? Now, talking about marriage between the investors and policymakers, we do have quite a number in the room, and of course, we will start by establishing the protocol by which all other speakers will follow. We'd like to start by recognizing the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Please give a lusty round of applause for His Excellency Senator Kashim Shettima, GCON. Your Excellency, we're truly honored to have you at this opening ceremony. Thank you. Of course, we'd like to recognize our host, the most sellable governor in Nigeria. And I recognize there are other governors here, but our host, Mr. Babajide Olusola Sanwo-Olu, the governor of Lagos State, please give him a round of applause. Thank you so much, Your Excellency. We have the First Lady of Lagos State here. Please celebrate Dr. Claudiana Ibijoke Sanwo-Olu. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you very much. We'd also like to recognize the governor of Nasarawa State, His Excellency Engineer Abdullahi Sule. Thank you very much for joining us. We'd also like to recognize the Governor of Plateau State, His Excellency Barrister Philip Mutwang. Thank you, Your Excellency, for joining this occasion. The Governor of Enugu State, Dr. Peter Ndubisi Mba, who is represented by the Deputy Governor, Barrister Ifeanyi Osai. Thank you for joining us as well. We'd like to recognize the Minister, delegate to the Minister of External Relations in charge of relations with the Commonwealth of Cameroon, His Excellency Mbayu Felix. Thank you for joining us. The Minister for Tourism, Trade, Industry, and Private Investment in the Republic of Benin, beg your pardon, His Excellency Olusegun Ajadi Bakari. Thank you for joining us. The Consul General of the UAE in Lagos, His Excellency Mr. Salem Al-Jabri. The Deputy High Commissioner of Canada in Lagos, His Excellency Carlos Rogers Abulu. Honorable Ministers and members of the Federal Executive Council, the Chairman, Commonwealth Enterprise and Investment Council, CIWEG, Right Honorable Lord Marland, Your Excellencies, Ambassadors, High Commissioners, and Heads of Foreign Missions, the Secretary General, African Continental Free Trade Area, His Excellency Wamkele Mene, the Secretary General of the Commonwealth, Honorable Shirley Botchway, Royal Fathers present, and who else do we have?
Well, we also have, this is a who's room of investment. The honorable members of the Lagos State House of Assembly, particularly the Chairman, House Committee on Commerce, Cooperatives, Trade and Investment, the Honorable Mustainu Abiodun Togun, the Secretary to the State Government, Barrister Bimbola Salu Hundayin, the Lagos State Head of Service, Mr. Olabode Agoro, is here with us, as is the Chief of Staff to the Governor, Mr. Tayo Akimade Ayinde. Other members of the State Executive Council are sitting here right in this room, particularly the co-chairs of the Local Organizing Committee, LOC, of this summit. That's the Deputy Chief of Staff to the Governor, Mr. Sam Egube, and the Honorable Commissioner for Commerce, Cooperatives, Trade and Investment, Mrs. Folashade Bada Ambrose Medebem. Members of the esteemed body of the Permanent Secretary, particularly the Permanent Secretary himself, Ministry of Commerce, Cooperatives, Trade and Investment, Mr. Babatunde Banjo. Executive Vice President of Afrexim Bank, Mrs. Kanayo Awani, also represented by her colleague, Mr. Gainmore. The Chairman, Enterprise Nigeria, Mr. Aiboje Aigi Mokwede, CON. The Chief Executive Officer, Commonwealth Enterprise and Investment Council, Ms. Samantha Cohen. Captains of Industry, top business executives, leaders of business, membership organizations, esteemed moderators and members of the panels of discussions that you will be enjoying today, all the heads of agencies and extra ministerial departments at the federal and the state level, all representatives of the international development and finance institutions, distinguished delegates and guests from around the globe, gentlemen of the press, ladies and gentlemen, this is Invest Lagos 3.0. I almost said Africa. You see how
You're seeing the bigger picture. This is Invest Lagos 3.0. Once again, welcome and thank you for choosing to be here. Before we begin the conversations that will shape the future of investment and enterprise across our continent, Africa, it's only imperative and proper that we honor the soul of Lagos, because this is Lagos, and we will entertain you with a cultural display. Now, who better to do that than an institution that has defined Lagos's creative economy for over 2 decades? Please, let's make welcome for the welcome cultural performance, Terra Culture. A round of applause. Thank you.
We kneel, great mother, keeper of Lagos, guardian of land, water, and breath.
You come dressed in white, but is your purpose clean? Raise your heads. Speak. What do you want?
Access.
Access to what?
To Lagos.
For what?
We want to bring the world to Lagos. Abi, let them see our culture. Let them hear our language. Let them taste our food. Abi, let them hear our music. Let them enter our theater. Let them see our art. Let them know that Lagos is not waiting for the world.
The future can bless. The future can swallow. Many have come to us with sweet mouths and even sweeter promises. Promises of prosperity. Yet, none have fulfilled that purpose. They have taken from Lagos and left her children hungry.
Great mother, we are not them. Benny, we are sons of the soil. We will protect Lagos.
Can you bring the world to Lagos and keep her children protected?
Yes, we can.
Can you invite wealth without selling her soul?
Yes, we can.
Can you open the gates without letting greed enter first?
Yes, we can.
Are you sure?
Yes.
I ask again. Are you sure?
Yes. We will do anything.
Anything?
Anything.
Okay then. Let Lagos hear you. Swear by the masked raiders.
We are men. We are men. Not so tough, not so rough. We are men playing gods. We are men. We are men playing gods. Not so rough, not so tough. We are men playing gods. We are light the touch, light the fire, light the touch, light the fire. We are men. We are men. We are men. Light the touch, light the fire, light the torch, light the fire. We are men, we are men, we are men, we are men.
Go. If you lie, they will come.
You.
If you steal, they will come. If you sell the poor for profits, they will come. If you build towers on broken promises, they will come. And if you bring the world to Lagos and forget her children, they will come.
We swear. Yeah. We swear. Yeah. We swear.
We swear, Abi.
Yes. We swear before Lagos.
We swear before water.
We swear before land and the mothers that hold the city. We will not fail.
We swear.
We will not fail.
We swear.
We will not fail. We swear. We swear before Lagos. We swear before waters. We swear before land and the mothers that hold the city. We will not fail. We will not fail. We will not fail.
Then rise. Go in peace. May the water carry your promise.
Ashe.
May the land record your footsteps.
Ashe.
May Lagos open, but not be sold.
Ashe.
May the world come, but not conquer.
Ashe.
May wealth enter, but not poison.
Ashe.
May culture rise, but not disappear.
Ashe.
Go and prosper. Oh yeah, gbéra, ọmọ mi gbéra. Mo ní kó gbéra, èsì mìíràn àbá ẹ lọ. Èkó gbéra, mo ní kó gbéra. Gbéra, èsì mìíràn àbá ẹ lọ. Òjò. Carry your promise and make this land record your footsteps. Go! Money go, Bera, 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 Bera. Money go, Bera. Lagos will rise.
Ashe.
Lagos will prosper.
Ashe.
Lagos will welcome the world.
Ashe.
Lagos will be remembered. Because you are kings and you are sons and daughters of kings. So go and prosper.
We promise growth.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni.
We promise fertility.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni.
We promise prosperity.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni.
We promise that investors will not come to devour.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni.
Because we are kings. Ọba, ọba ni wá, ọba láṣẹ, ọba o, ọba, ọba ni wá, ọba láṣẹ, glorious and graceful, you do unto this you do. Now your faithful is head to the stool. Tell her the secret that all is good. Tell her the lies, not the truth. Ọba, ọba ni wá, ọba láṣẹ.
Culture. Absolutely beautiful. The power of storytelling, the soul of Lagos depicted in pictures. So beautiful, so colorful. How did you feel about the performance?
I felt that echoed.
Ooh, I like that. And that is exactly how the investment will echo from this conference once we are done. Thank you so much again to the beautiful and incredible team at Terra Culture. Thank you for telling the Lagos story, and of course for reassuring all our investors and partners that are here that indeed you are in safe hands. We'd like to make a few more recognitions and thank everyone who's been a part of this conference in one way or the other, either as a partner, or as an investor, a potential investor in any capacity. But let's recognize very specially the Secretary General of the Commonwealth. Please celebrate Baroness Shirley Botchway. A round of applause, please. Thank you so much. You look absolutely colorful, and we're excited that you are here and you're a part of Invest Lagos 3.0. We'd also like to recognize the Chairman, Commonwealth Enterprise and Investment Council, CIWEG, Right Honorable Lord Mackland. A round of applause for him. Thank you so much. The Honorable Minister of Finance and the Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Mr. Taiwo Oyedele. A round of applause for him. Thank you so much. The Honorable Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development, Barrister Festus Keyamo. Thank you very much for joining us today. The Honorable Minister of Women Affairs is also here today, and we'll recognize her very shortly. But I'd like to recognize the Honorable Minister of Marine and Blue Economy, His Excellency Adegboyega Oyetola, ably represented by Dr. Akuta Pius Ukeima, Executive Secretary, CEO, Nigeria Shippers Council. The Executive Governor of Akwa Ibom State, Pastor Umar Basi Eno, PhD, ably represented by the Deputy Governor, Senator Dr. Akon Evaheni. Thank you very much. The Honorable Minister of Women Affairs, Mrs. Iman Suleiman Ibrahim, is ably represented by the Director General and CEO of the Miriam Babangida National Center for Women Development, Dr. Adedayo Benjamin Zlani. Thank you very much for joining us.
Mujade, we also have His Excellency the Governor of Taraba State, Dr. Agbu Kefas, who is ably represented by his Chief of Staff here today. Give a warm round of applause to Dr. J.G. Williams. Now, the hopes and dreams of more than 1 billion Africans are pinned on the African Continental Free Trade Area. And we are so honored to have with us His Excellency the Secretary General of the AFCFTA. Please stand. Wamkele Mene.
Thank you very much. Of course, we will hear from him very soon. I'd also like to recognize the Consul General of the Korean Embassy in Lagos, Lee Sang-ho. Thank you very much for being here.
Okay, let's get straight to the program. And what a program it is. We start with a welcome address. And to deliver that, please join me in giving a lusty round of applause to the Honorable Commissioner for Commerce, Cooperatives, Trade and Investment for Lagos State Government, Mrs. Folashade Kausarat Ambrose Medeben.
Thank you very much. As she makes her way to the stage, we'd like to recognize the Governor of Abia State. Please celebrate Mr. Alex Oti. His Excellency, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Welcome once again to Lagos. I would like to acknowledge His Excellency, the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Please, can we give him an outstanding round of applause? And without any doubt here, the inimitable Mr. Governor of Lagos State, Mr. Babajide Olushola Sanwo-Olu. An echoing round of applause, please. Thank you. The Secretary General of the Commonwealth, please, can we give another echoing round of applause? All the honorable ministers here present, can we all give them another round of applause, please? Please permit me to stand on a highly established protocol. Can we give everyone a round of applause, please? Thank you very much. I'd like to say good morning and say this is Lagos. Welcome. Before I begin, permit me to express my sincere appreciation to every delegate, every investor, business leader, development partner, in fact, I can't stop smiling, and government representative who has traveled from across Nigeria, Africa, the Commonwealth, and the wider world to be here today. Thank you. Your presence here is more than a vote of confidence in Lagos. It is a belief in a city whose story has always been written in ambition, innovation, resilience, and opportunity. I owe particular thanks to our strategic partners, the Commonwealth Enterprise and Investment Council and Afrexim Bank, to our sponsors, and to every member of the local organizing committee, particularly my co-chair, Mr. Sam Egube, whose dedication and professionalism turned an ambitious idea into the room we are all standing in today. I'm especially honored by the presence of our visiting state governors. Can we give them an outstanding round of applause, please? Who have come from across the Federation to stand with Lagos And I thank them most warmly for their partnership and their friendship. Above all, I thank our Mr. Governor, Mr. Babajide Olusola Sanwo-Olu. I can't hear those applause. Thank you. And our Deputy Governor, Dr. Kadri Obafemi Hamzat, for the visionary leadership, the unwavering support, and the trust that has positioned Lagos as Africa's premier destination for investment, enterprise, and economic transformation. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Lagos, the city that does not know how to sit still. Africa's most dynamic commercial hub, Nigeria's economic powerhouse, and one of the fastest growing megacities on earth. We're very humble in Lagos. This is a city of over 25 million people, a city that drives a commanding share of Nigeria's GDP, attracts the largest pool of foreign direct and domestic investment in the country, and sets the pace for innovation and enterprise across the continent. In Lagos, ideas become enterprises, enterprises become more industries, and industries create prosperity. Under Mr. Governor's leadership, Lagos keeps widening its lead. We were ranked first in the ease of doing business among Nigeria's sub-national governments. Thank you, and we have not slowed down. Reforming on investor confidence, infrastructure development, digital governance, and public-private partnerships. The world has noticed. Time Out named Lagos among the best cities on the planet. And our city keeps earning its reputation as Africa's home of creativity, technology, entertainment, finance, and enterprise. These honors were earned, the product of deliberate policy, bold investment, and the unbreakable resilience of our people. So let me say it plainly. This is a city where talent meets opportunity, a city where innovation meets capital, a city where government and businesses build shared prosperity together that builds the future for living. So on behalf of Mr. Governor, Mr. Babajide Olusola Sanwo-Olu, and the good people of Lagos State, it is my honor to welcome you all to the third edition of Invest Lagos, our flagship global investment platform, proudly convened in partnership with the Commonwealth Enterprise and Investment Council. 3 years ago, Invest Lagos began as a bold idea to deepen investor engagement and show the world a globally competitive Lagos. Today, it stands among Africa's most influential sub-national investment platforms. This year's theme, the Business Gateway to Africa, where innovation meets capital, says exactly what we all believe. The future belongs to the cities bold enough to innovate, to collaborate, and to execute at scale. The next 3 days are built for action. We will move from conversation to commitment, from intention to investment, from idea to implementation. You will meet investment-ready opportunities across infrastructure, energy, healthcare, manufacturing, technology, the creative economy, logistics, real estate, agriculture and food systems, and industrial development. Through our sector pavilions, our strategic dialogues, and Deal Room 2.0, we're opening real pathways to partnerships that will shape the future of Lagos and power Africa's economic renaissance. Ladies and gentlemen, if you take a single message home from this summit, let it be this: Lagos is open for business. Lagos is open for partnerships. Lagos is open for investments. And Lagos is a city that keeps its promises. The opportunities are here. The market is here. The talent is here. The leadership is here. Put them all together and we build prosperity that reaches far beyond our borders. You are among friends, you are among partners, and you are among builders of the future. Welcome to Lagos Investment Summit 3.0. Welcome to Lagos. God bless Lagos State. God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And as we say in Lagos, Igbega, Ìpínlẹ̀ Èkó, Àjùmọ̀ṣe wa ni.
Thank you very much, Honorable Commissioner for Commerce, Cooperatives, Trade and Investment, Lagos State. Please, one more time, let's celebrate Mrs. Folashade Bada. Thank you very much. I'd like to very quickly recognize again the Executive Governor of Abia State, Dr. Alex Oti. Thank you so much, Your Excellency, for joining us. A round of applause for him, please. Thank you. The Governor of Ondo State, His Excellency Lucky Ayedatiwa, is ably represented by the Special Advisor on Entrepreneurship, Dr. Francis Somi-Smart. Thank you very much. The Consul General, Netherlands, Mr. Michael Dillon. Thank you also for being here. We're moving on very quickly, and we will take the opening remarks, which will be delivered by the Chairman, Commonwealth Enterprise Investment Council. Please give a Lagos welcome as I invite on stage Lord Marland. A round of applause for him. Thank you. That's the Lagos welcome. Thank you very much. Sustain the applause till he gets on stage. Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed. I thought the Lagos welcome involved cheers, but that's more like it. Come on, Governor, let's have some cheers. Yes, thank you, thank you, thank you. Well, what a privilege it is to be here, and what a hard act, Folashade, that was to follow. I really have drawn the short straw, as they say, following such a great speech by you, and a performance. What a magnificent performance. Vice President, thank you for gracing us with your presence, and such a pleasure to see you and the commitment you have to this event. Governor, 9 months ago when we met, you told me you wanted 150 business people from across the Commonwealth to come and join in at this event. We produced nearly 300 people, which is a fantastic statement that Lagos and Nigeria are open for business. We want to know what's going on in this country. We see the huge potential of this country, and we want to be here to smell the coffee, as they say. We live in a world of great turmoil. Trust in trade has been torn up. Trust in aid has been torn up. And this has thrown great nations into a very undesirable place. We are all looking hard as countries at our national resilience, and it's being tested to the full. Are we secure in our energy supply? Are we secure in our food supply? Are we secure as a homeland from outside threats? Are we secure from a health point of view following COVID and now the wretched Ebola, which is crossing several countries in Africa? Have we got a future for our youth population? 70% of all Africans are under 30 years old. And have we a solution to the climate issues that now confront us? These are the things that are confronting our great nations at the moment. And these are the global plates that are moving around. As a result of this, what will emerge are people who can lead, countries who can lead and demonstrate the answers to these particular problems that we all face. And who better than this great country, Nigeria, and the beating heart of Nigeria, the Lagos State, and through the excellent leadership of the Commonwealth, Shirley Ochwe, do we have the Commonwealth to show leadership through the 56 nations that we embrace. And this is a huge responsibility. The leading nation in Africa has got to lead and demonstrate that there are solutions. And the Commonwealth, and we are a small part of it, have to show that there is a way for the future. Nigeria, with its entrepreneurial, its business-focused, its resource-based economy, stands an outstanding platform. And now, through the leadership of the Honourable Vice President and the President, and through the Governor and the Governors of these various states, there is a real sense of business purpose. There is a stable economy and a stable currency. And this is a magnificent springboard to solve the problems and to show that the country is ready to lead and be part of the major beating heart of this country. And the Commonwealth, 56 group of nations, loosely tied together, but sharing a long and historical bond, which isn't based on rules and regulations, praise the Lord, we've got too many of those, but has its language in common things, its education, its rule of law. All of these are common issues that bind us together and create what they call the Commonwealth Advantage, which you'll hear more from the Great Secretary General later. It is 19% more competitive to do business intra-Commonwealth. It is very easy for Commonwealth countries to come to Nigeria and come to Lagos because we speak the same language, we have similar education, we have similar rules of law, and we have a similar outlook to life through all the various social things that we do together. My friends, at this critical time, we must all stand up and be counted. This is the moment for Lagos. This is the moment for Nigeria. This is the moment for the Commonwealth. We must now grasp that opportunity in both hands. Thank you.
Another round of applause for Lord Marlander. And you're absolutely right. It's not just about Lagos. It's about Africa and it's about the world. Before we go any further, I just noticed in the audience, I want you to give a warm round of applause. He played Martin Luther King in the film Selma and many, many others. Probably one of our greatest cultural exports. The great actor, Hollywood actor, David Oyelowo is here with us. Please. You'll be hearing from David later as we tackle culture, which, of course, is instrumental. Now, let's hear some goodwill messages from leaders at the center of African commerce and continental trade. Everybody here knows Afrexim Bank, the African Export-Import Bank based in Cairo, a powerhouse of intra-Africa trade. Mrs. Kanayo Awani is the Executive VP for the Intra-Africa Trade Bank at Afrexim Bank, and she is ably represented by Dr. Gainmore Zanamwe, Director, Trade Facilitation and Investment Promotion. Please welcome him to the stage.
Merci beaucoup, my brother. Your Excellency, Vice President of Nigeria, and Your Excellency, the host of this important edition, it is really a pleasure from Afrexim Bank to be part of this important gathering. And let me start by passing on the greetings from our President, Dr. George Elombi, who is basically happy to support initiatives like this. And also, I want to pass on the greetings from Madam Awani, who would have loved to be here, but due to the other pressing commitments, she was not able to be here. She's the son of the soil. She also sends regards to you, Honorable Governor and Vice President. Your Excellency, Vice President of Nigeria, and Your Excellency, the host of this important edition, it is really a pleasure from Afreximbank to be part of this important gathering. And let me start by passing on the greetings from our President, Dr. George Elombi, who is basically happy to support initiatives like this. And also, I want to pass on the greetings from Madam Awani, who would have loved to be here, but due to the other pressing commitments, she was not able to be here. She's the son of the soil. She also sends regards to you, Honorable Governor and Vice President. The message that I've been sent with is very simple. And at Afreximbank, when we were approached by Lagos State and the Commonwealth Secretariat to come and partner with you and support this initiative, we did not need to think twice, because this is our bread and butter. This is what we do to support investment in African countries. And at Afreximbank, we believe that we need to have a unique and practical approach to promoting investment. And this is how we do it. We actually decided to invest deliberately in what we call industrial parks or special economic zones, where we put the requisite trade enabling infrastructure to ensure that when investors want to invest, they don't have to come and start building roads. They don't have to come and start building power plants. They don't have to come and start looking for railway connections. We will put the industrial parks or special economic zones in place, and through these special economic zones, investors will just come, plug and play. And this is not just theory. Partnership with our partner, Arise Integrated Industrial Platforms, we managed to demonstrate this practical approach to investment in what we've done in Benin, where we managed to transform the cotton sector, which was previously exporting 1% of processed cotton, now increased it to 12%, and thereby creating thousands of jobs. Now Benin is exporting yarn, is exporting garments to the global market through strategic investments that we've put in the industrial park. We've also done the same in Gabon, whereby Gabon used to export only logs to China. But right now, Gabon is a leader in terms of exporting finished wood products to the global market, including some of the key top brands in America. This is investment at play and also industrialization in practice. And these are strategic investments. Investment does not need to be isolated, but you need to do it in an ecosystem. So we are also doing the same here in Lagos. We have got 2 industrial parks that we are actually working on here in Nigeria, one in Ogun State, and that is also advanced. We have also put in place a 5 billion textile renaissance plan, of course, working with our partner Arise, as well as the SFTA Secretariat. The SG is here. So we want to transform the African cotton industry by transforming around 500,000 metric tons of cotton, and that will create more than 500 jobs on the continent, and Nigeria is also part of that initiative. These are strategic investments that we are putting. And for those of you who basically are still doubtful, I think Afreximbank is here to assure you that it's actually safe to invest in Lagos, in Nigeria, and Africa. We have done that through the Dangote refinery. It's a 20 billion facility, and Afreximbank is the largest single debtor that is actually invested in that. And we've actually seen Nigeria being turned from a net importer of fuel now to an exporter. And some of you may have come from London, you may have actually used Dangote's fuel to fly here. These are practical examples of investments. And we will not stop there. What we've done through Dangote can be easily replicated in Angola. East Africa is also looking at a similar initiative. These are practical investments that will actually support trading under the AfCFTA. We are now creating petrochemical products that can be traded under the AfCFTA. This is the only way we can give meaning to the AfCFTA. But that will not stop there. At Afreximbank, we had always considered Nigeria, in particular Lagos, as the gateway. This morning when I was now finalizing my speech, I asked Uncle Google, who is the gateway for Africa? Uncle Google told me, okay, Ghana is the cultural and the diplomatic gateway. Uncle Google also said Africa is the corporate gateway. Then I said, okay, Uncle Google is probably dated. Let me go to AI. AI said it was still thinking. But when maybe some of you are also still thinking. But when I listened to what the Honorable Commissioner said, I have no doubt in my mind that Lagos has earned that position of a gateway to Africa. And this is what Afreximbank is here to support. We have already, since inception, put about 83 billion US dollars in Nigeria, most of it in Lagos. About 56 billion is funded and the rest 26 billion is unfunded. So if there's any investor who is doubting whether you can put money and make money in Lagos, I think what Afreximbank has done is more than good evidence. And we've put money in various sectors from energy, construction. We've also built the state-of-art medical center, the AMC, which is already operating. And in a space of 6 months, they had already undertaken the first open heart surgery. These are practical investments that are actually transforming lives. We have also established the Africa Trade and Distribution Company that will support SMEs to be able to move goods under the AfCFTA and help the smallholder farmers, informal cross-border traders, and women. These are some of the practical initiatives we are putting in place to create a good environment for investment in Lagos, in Nigeria, and Africa. And my colleagues will also talk about what we are doing in the digital space, the establishment of the Africa Trade Gateway. And the key to this is the Pan-African Payment and Settlement System, which is already operational in more than 27 countries. And we've got 180 commercial banks that have already connected to PAPS. It will facilitate trading in African currencies, and that will actually reduce the cost. We are now able to do transactions in seconds. So these are some of the issues that I just wanted to highlight. And for Afreximbank, we believe that working with platforms like this, we'll be able to work with all the investors that are in the room to ensure that we work on the deals that you have and take them to the conclusion, to execution. Before I conclude, I would like to invite you to the Afreximbank booth to get more information about the products that we have to support investors. We've got a suite of investment guarantees. We also have got the Intra-African Trade Fair that is taking place next year under the auspices of Lagos, who is the host. And we also have got Canex Weekend that is taking place later this year in November. We also have the African Sub-Sovereign Network that is taking place in Cross River. I also want to conclude by inviting all the honorable governors and investors to Cross River State to continue what we have started here. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Gaynor Zanamwe. Give him another round of applause. Now, he mentioned the African Continental Free Trade Area, and this is the biggest free trade area in the world. 54 nations, more than 1 billion people. And there's a lot of hard work being done. But perhaps the hardest worker on the AFCFTA is your next speaker. Please welcome the Secretary General of the African Continental Free Trade Area Secretariat, His Excellency Wamkele Mene.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mark, for the very warm welcome. Your Excellency, Vice President, Senator Shatima, Your Excellency, Governor Babajide Olusola Sanwo-Olu, our gracious host, Your Excellency, Madam Secretary General of the Commonwealth Secretariat, the governors that are here today, honorable ministers from Nigeria and outside of Nigeria, Lord Malan, the chairman of the Commonwealth Enterprise and Investment Council, leaders of the private sector, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, this is my 7th visit to Nigeria this year. And every time I am here, Excellency Vice President, I am received with heartfelt warmth and hospitality that goes beyond the usual protocols. It is befitting that we are here, Africa's largest economy, and it is also befitting that we are in Lagos, a city that has produced the largest number of industrialists in Africa, and a city that contributes almost $100 billion to the global culture industry. And so I commend Governor, yourself, the Deputy Governor, and the team that you lead for collaborating with the Commonwealth Enterprise and Investment Council to convene us here today for this important investor-focused gathering. Africa's sub-sovereign governments, including states, counties across our continent, have a very critical role to play in promoting inclusive growth across the continent. According to the African Development Bank, our continent is set to grow by 4.2% in the year 2026, before strengthening to 4.4% in the year 2027. Sustaining and accelerating this growth will depend not only on national policies, national industrial policies, it will also require subnational governments to attract investment in some of the areas that our colleague Dr. Zanamwe spoke about, in industrial development, industrial parks, innovation, and infrastructure development. And Lagos has demonstrated indeed what is possible through strategic investment in infrastructure, in innovation, and of course in entrepreneurship. We have noted the success of the state of Lagos. Few cities on our continent possess the advantages that Lagos has. The scale of the market, the entrepreneurial dynamism, from the small hustler to the big oga on top. What we see in Nigeria in its entrepreneurialism is indeed unmatched. Next year, Nigeria will host Nigeria and Lagos in particular will host the Intra-Africa Trade Fair, an event that approximately concluded $50 billion worth of transactions at the last convening in Algeria. We look forward to supporting this event and to returning to Lagos. Lagos is indeed the gateway to the African market. As I mentioned earlier, the largest number of industrialists in Africa is here in this city. You are therefore well positioned and well poised to be the gateway to attract investors who seek to access a market of over 1.4 billion people with a combined GDP of 3.4 trillion United States dollars. As we speak today, the AFCFTA is being implemented by 50 countries on the continent out of 55. And in the year 2026, we recorded $230 billion worth of intra-Africa trade transactions, a 10% increase from the year before. And Nigeria, Africa's largest economy, now has the pride to say that the African continent is Nigeria's largest export destination. This is a remarkable achievement. We have worked together with our partners, with Afreximbank, AFDB, and others to develop instruments and tools that will enable the private sector, small medium enterprises that are led by women, entrepreneurs to take advantage of this significant market. The AFCFTA Adjustment Fund, capitalized by over $1 billion, well set to support entrepreneurs who seek to expand to new markets, as well as large corporations, as we've heard, who also seek to expand to new markets in Africa. And so the Commonwealth partnership that is reflected here in this summit is particularly significant. Commonwealth countries currently account for nearly 22% of Nigeria's inward foreign direct investment, which provides a very strong capital base. Once again, I want to extend my very sincere congratulations to the Governor, to Lord Malland, to Excellency, Madam Secretary General, and of course, the private sector that are here today. We want to assure you that the AFCFTA Secretariat fully supports all of the initiatives that the state of Lagos is undertaking, including the export of industrial goods, special economic zone, cultural activities that contribute quite significantly to Nigeria's overall export profile to the rest of the continent. I want to thank you once again for your attention, for providing us the opportunity to provide this goodwill message, and I look very much forward to the discussions that will follow. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, particularly for reiterating your commitment to supporting Lagos State's moves to investment. Thank you. Let's celebrate His Excellency Wamkele Menen, the Secretary General of the African Continental Free Trade Area. Thank you so much for your kind message today. Mr. Vice President, Your Excellency, we'd like to thank you for being here. We know that you have many competing priorities, but this is important to you. You believe in Lagos, you believe in the conversations here, and that's why we are here. Thank you so much. We also promise to keep it running as fast as possible. Thank you. On that note, we would like to implore all our speakers to please keep your speeches as short as possible. Thank you so much. Now, coming up next for a special address, I have the honor of inviting on stage the Secretary General, the Commonwealth. Please make welcome the Honorable Shirley Botchway. A round of applause for her as she makes her way to the stage for her special address this morning at Invest Lagos 3.0. Please sustain that applause till she gets on stage. Thank you so much.
Excellency Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, His Excellency Shettima, Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, Deputy Governor, Lord Marland, Excellency Wamkele Mene, Secretary General of the AFCFTA, Honorable Ministers of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and guest ministers from Cameroon and Benin Republic, governors, executive governors, excellencies, business leaders, investors, partners, and friends. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a pleasure to join you here in Lagos, one of Africa's great commercial capitals, one of the Commonwealth's most dynamic investment destinations, and increasingly, one of the world's most important gateways for growth. I thank the Lagos State Government for convening this platform, and I commend Governor Sanwo-Olu for the ambition behind it. I also recognize, that's a good point for an applause. I also recognize the Commonwealth Enterprise and Investment Council, CWIC, under Lord Marland's leadership, for bringing together government, business, finance, and enterprise around one practical purpose: converting opportunity into investment, enterprise, and jobs. That matters because we meet at a decisive moment. The global economy is not just experiencing a passing period of turbulence. It is going through a structural shift. Trade tensions are rising. Supply chains are being rewired. Capital is more cautious. Debt pressures are heavier. Climate shocks are more frequent. Technology is transforming every sector faster than many institutions can adapt. For investors, the question is no longer where the highest return is only. It is also, where is the trust? Where is the talent? Where is the market? Where is the regulatory confidence? Where is the long-term growth story? That is why Lagos matters. Let's take a moment. I want you to join me in a thought experiment. Let's imagine it is 2050. The international system has been renewed, less divided, more practical, and more objective of the competitive attractions of developing countries and the opportunities that developing countries bring. 2050, we're still imagining, there is a less jaundiced calculation of risk outside traditional markets. The energy transition has become one of the greatest engines of growth in modern history. And Africa is the world's largest and youngest continent, with its cities setting the pace of trade, technology, culture, and investment. Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we are still in 2050, and I'll tell you what I see. I see Lagos standing among the tallest, with clean energy powering industry, ports and rail connecting markets, where digital finance moves enterprise at speed. Creativity becomes export power, and young people build global companies without leaving home. The picture I have presented to you is not a fantasy. It is a realistic prospect if we make the right strategic choices, and I believe the work begins here. Because Lagos is not simply a city of potential, it is a city of proof. Proof that Africa's growth is real. Proof that enterprise can move faster than expectation. Proof that young people with ideas and ambition can build companies that compete globally. This city is a commercial engine, a cultural powerhouse, a logistics hub, a continental gateway, and one of the clearest symbols of Africa's economic transformation. It is home to major African fintech success stories. Companies such as Flutterwave, Paystock, Opay, and others, built by young people who saw gaps in the market and turned them into platforms of opportunity. That is the kind of growth the Commonwealth must help to accelerate. Across our 56 member countries, we are home to 2.7 billion people. The majority are under the age of 30. We share language, legal traditions, business practices, education systems, institutions, and deep people-to-people ties. These connections are commercial assets. They reduce friction, they build trust, they lower risk, they make it easier for businesses to trade, invest, and grow across borders. That is the Commonwealth advantage. Trade between Commonwealth countries being on average around 21% cheaper. But advantage itself is not enough. An advantage that is unused is only a statistic. Our task is to turn that advantage into jobs, investment, supply chains, infrastructure, innovation, and growth that people can feel in their daily lives. That is why trade and investment are the center of my vision for a renewed Commonwealth. At a time when parts of the world are turning inward, the Commonwealth must turn towards one another with greater purpose. At a time when protectionism is rising, we must build trusted corridors for trade. At a time when capital is searching for confidence, we must help create conditions in which long-term investment can flow. This is all about delivery. At the Commonwealth Secretariat, we are supporting member countries on regulatory connectivity, digital trade, investment facilitation, access to finance, and trade policy. We are working to reduce fragmentation, strengthen investor confidence, improve the bankability of projects, and help small and medium-sized enterprises, especially women and youth-led businesses, connect to regional and global value chains. Because in many of our countries, the problem is not a lack of ambition, nor is it always a lack of capital. Invest Lagos is focused on the right questions. How Lagos can serve as Africa's global gateway. How technology and fintech can drive inclusive growth. How long-term capital can be mobilized. And how infrastructure, energy systems, and creative industries can shape the cities of the future. This is a single, coherent agenda. A modern investment hub needs digital infrastructure. It needs reliable energy, transport and logistics, skills, predictable rules, creative industries, cultural confidence, and above all, needs trust. Lagos has many of these ingredients already. scale, energy, location, a dynamic private sector, and young people impatient for opportunity, progress, and growth. And Lagos stands within Nigeria's broader economic trajectory and within Africa's continental transformation through the African Continental Free Trade Area. Because the future of African investment will not be built country by country alone. It will be built through regional markets, cross-border infrastructure, digital payments, logistics corridors, common standards, and stronger value chains. A more connected Africa is more investable Africa. And a more investable Africa is good, not only for Africa, but for the Commonwealth and the world. For the Commonwealth, Nigeria is central. It is one of our great engines of possibility. But potential does not deliver itself. We must mobilize investment into productive sectors, real businesses, real infrastructure, real jobs. We must build reliable power, efficient transport, digital connectivity, and modern logistics. We must create regulatory environments that are transparent, predictable, and responsive. And we must invest in skills so that young people are not spectators to growth, but its drivers and beneficiaries. And we must ensure that growth is inclusive, because prosperity that is too narrow will not be stable, and investment that does not improve lives will neither command public confidence nor be sustainable. This is why, beyond all the technical jargon and policy platforms, trade and investment are human subjects. They are about whether a young entrepreneur can access finance, whether a small business can reach a new market, whether a graduate can find decent work, whether a creative artist can monetize talent globally, whether a family can live with dignity, security, and hope. Ladies and gentlemen, the days of modest ambition are gone. We need execution. We need scale. We need confidence. We need partnerships that deliver. And I believe strongly that Lagos has the energy, Nigeria has the scale, Africa has the momentum, the Commonwealth has the network. Now we must bring them together. So back to 2050 and our thought experiment. We are all here enjoying this thriving city. And I hope we are looking back on this summit, not because of what we said, but because of the partnerships formed, the capital mobilized, the projects advanced, and the confidence strengthened. So, ladies and gentlemen, let us show from Lagos that in a world of uncertainty, partnership still works. When it is practical, when that partnership is purposeful and bold. Thank you.
That indeed was a special address and a charge. Indeed, Lagos is ready, Africa is ready, and we are having these conversations today that will make us even more ready. One more time, can we celebrate the Secretary General of the Commonwealth, the Honorable Shirley Botchway. Thank you so much for your kind words today and your power charge delivered as a special address. Thank you. Before we take our next speaker, I'd like to crave your indulgence to please focus your attention to the multimedia screen for a short video. Thank you.
Named its greatest cities. There was a place on the edge of the Atlantic where land met water and people came to trade, build, survive and thrive. And what they built on that narrow strip of coast was not just a settlement, it was the beginning of a system. Centuries passed and Lagos did not shrink. Every wave of commerce, every shift in trade, every moment the world said the city has limits, Lagos answered by expanding beyond them. We call it the center of excellence, not as flattery, but as fact. Because something extraordinary is happening. The Lekki Deep Sea Port, with vessels arriving from every corner of the world, not simply carrying cargo, but repositioning an entire region's trade. The Dangote Refinery, the largest single refinery on earth, a declaration that value can be created here, not exported elsewhere. The Lagos Rail Mass Transit, moving tens of thousands of people every day, unlocking time, productivity, and possibility. The Lekki Free Zone, where global manufacturers, logistic giants, and industrial capital are building the next chapter of African industry. And Eco Atlantic, a city rising from the ocean itself, on 10,000 square meters of brand new land, reclaimed from the Atlantic and protected by the Great Wall of Lagos. Proof that even the coastline is being reimagined. This is Lagos claiming its future. 30% of Nigeria's GDP, more than 2,500 startups and counting, a financial ecosystem that anchors West Africa, industrial corridors expanding, waterways awakening under Omieko, a new international airport rising in Lekki, trade, technology, industry, infrastructure moving together at scale. This is what the Center of Excellence looks like in motion. Not a title inherited from the past, but a standard being built in steel, water, concrete, innovation, and capital. Every single day. This is Lagos.
Thank you. I love that I didn't have to call for the applause. Indeed, this is Lagos. And we do know that Lagos is Africa's most consequential city. But behind all of that ambition, the infrastructure, the push, its transformation agenda, stands one man who has made it his personal ambition to make Lagos investor ready. On that note, I have the special honor of inviting on stage our host today, the Governor of the Center of Excellence and the State of Aquatic Splendor, the Governor of Lagos State, Mr. Babajide Olushola Sanwo-Olu. Keep the applause legacy. Give it some cheer as I now hand over to Mr. Governor. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So that I have space for our investors and all of our friends to have time to see what we're building in the city and in the state. Mr. Vice President, Senator Kashim Shettima, GCON, we're truly, truly honored to have you here grace this occasion. It means a whole lot to us. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. My brother governors, the governor of Plateau, the governor of Nasarawa, the governor of Abia, thank you very much. The deputy governor of Enugu and the deputy governor of Akwa Ibom, thank you very much. To my darling wife, thank you very much for your support. To the coordinating minister of the economy and the minister of finance, thank you very much. Thank you, Minister for Aviation. To my new friend and brother, the chairman of the Commonwealth Enterprise Investment, Lord Mallard, thank you very much. To our great sister, our pride of Africa, to Commonwealth, our Honorable Shelley Bothway, thank you very much, madam. And to my brother, who is his 7th visit before the end of the year, Mele, you will do 15 because we still have a lot to do. Thank you very much for the great work you are doing at the African Continental Free Trade Area. And to all of our guests, to all of my friends that have come from various countries, we're indeed very happy. To our political fathers that are here, Baba Lucy, I see you, I see all of our party supporters, but it's really about our visitors, people that are coming to Lagos for the first time, that have taken this risk. We want to say we're truly, truly happy that you'll make out the time. To the youth and to the future of Lagos, of Nigeria, thank you for the impact of today's event. And so I want to welcome you again to Lagos to our Invest 3.0, which is our flagship international investment forum. It's conveyed this one in partnership with the Commonwealth Enterprise and Investment Council. We've come a long way, and with an humble beginning in 2024 at its inaugural edition, Invest Lagos, investment opportunity. We've seen last year's around scaling action, bold solutions towards making Lagos a truly 21st century economy. Now at the third edition, Lagos, the business gateway to Africa. By both situating Lagos on a continental and global landscape and affirming our belief in its uniqueness of where it stands as a primary gateway to continents that has been described as the world's fastest growing frontier and home to the 21st century workforce. We're announcing to the world that if you want to reach Africa and benefit from its boundless market and economic potential, then Lagos certainly offers the most viable and appealing route. If you want to unlock the potential of the African continental free trade area, the world's largest free trade area by number of participating countries and home to over 1.4 billion people and a combined GDP of over 3 trillion, then Lagos presents that opening door corridor. If we are the most attractive jewel in that free trade area and is the largest and most popular subnational economy with over 25 million people getting a GDP that is inching closer to 300 billion. We've seen parity internationally generated revenue. We've seen our growth year in year of about 20%. Our GDP is growing at about 5%, which we believe are certainly above the World Bank threshold. We see a city that have the honor of governing, that I have the honor of governing for the past 7 years, which is supported by a very brilliant and energetic team. Every day across our over 2,567 days that we've been around, we believe that we have walked, we've been driven by vision, by ambition. We've set out to leave things better than we met them. We've been guided and we've been inspired by our teams and our team agenda. We have ensured that no part of the city landscape has been left untouched. In fact, our year's budget is a budget of shared prosperity. We have completed and we've added several high-impact infrastructure in waterways, transportation, in road infrastructure. We have handed over 2 rail projects, the Blue Line, the Red Line. We're ushering with the federal government the third rail, which is the Green Line. We're truly excited with what Lagos is becoming. And like Madam Botley said, just close your eyes and imagine by 2050, when you see a Lagos that is the human-centric capital of the world, where a Microsoft can come and take over 500,000 young dynamic engineers, where NVIDIA and all of the tech ecosystem cannot think without dreaming of where their human resource will come out from, apart from Lagos. That's the vision we have seen. Not just infrastructure, but human capital, capacity of the young, dynamic, smart minds that we're building. We've seen a Lekki deep sea port in which Lagos holds an equity stake, now operational, and is also going to a phase 2, because within 5 years, it has actually reached the capacity of its phase 1 already. Our investment in agriculture, including our Lagos Central Food Systems, is the largest food logistics park in the whole of South Africa. It's because we see food system as another national security, and we're taking it very boldly. We see a private sector that is thriving in Lagos, fueled by a pro-business policy and a regulatory environment. The Dangote Petrochemical Refinery, the largest single train refinery, and Mr. Aliko Dangote is already even scaling it. He's already pushing the numbers and is adding additional investment into that refinery. And so Lagos is now home to not fewer than 6 submarine cables. We're truly excited with what we're seeing in the technology space. Just 2 weeks ago, we commissioned one of the large hyperscale data center here in Lagos. We have nurtured technology unicorns like the Florida Waves, the Money Point, and Della into Switch. We're redrawing the architecture of Africa's commerce and its capacity. But our story is not just one that we want to flaunt. We are very proud on the progress we are making on our Lagos International Financial Center, LIFC, which will be the clearest articulation in recent history of Lagos' ambition to be a global financial gateway. The LIFC will be a purpose-built financial district to complete with regulatory architecture, infrastructure quality, and institutional credibility to serve as a nexus of capital inflow between Africa and the world. I must commend and thank the support of the federal government and the federal institutions that are working with us to come to the reality of the LIFC. The world is paying serious attention to Lagos. In 2025, we became the first African city to host the E1 World Championship, which was an all-electric motorboat racing series. We also secured the hosting rights, like Afro-Exim said, the Creative African Nexus, the CANEX 2026 event will be coming up in November 3rd to 5th. We'll also be hosting the Inter-Africa Trade Fair in November next year, 2027, which is Africa's premier annual trade and investment gathering. To our development finance partners, we've seen investment coming from the British International Investment, we've seen investment from African Finance Corporation, from the Afro-Exim Bank, and all other multilateral institutions. You are all represented in this room. I say with all of the seriousness that we value the role that patent capital and structured co-financing continue to play. We're seeing a de-risking of transactions, and we're creating a condition for commercial capital to continue to flow. It's not just a chance that just recently again, one of our foremost rating agency said that Lagos is the most forward-looking subnational government. Of course, after being the first by the ease of doing business, we'll continue to ensure that we create the space for us to be globally competitive and to ensure that we can continue to remain relevant. Let me especially acknowledge the Commonwealth, which today is represented by the Secretary General, Madam Bochwe, and the Commonwealth Investment Council, Lord Mallard. What we're seeing is a connection, that you've brought over 200 international investors as real partners towards this conference. Samantha, thank you very much for the role you have played to bring us to where we are. Lagos want to claim full responsibility within the Commonwealth ecosystem. Thank you very much, Samantha. Nobody had actually mentioned that. People didn't know that all the great work that you've put. I think it's important at this point for me to thank the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, the President of our country, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who was the architect 2 decades ago. And I'm humbled that I was privileged to have served my first public assignment with him about 24 years ago now. Please, with a round of sounding applause, please let's give my father, my leader, Mr. President, a big round of applause for the solid foundation upon which a new Lagos is being assembled. And today, the architect of a new Lagos architect of a new Nigeria that is rapidly assuming its place within the community of nations. President Bola Tinubu's commitment to Nigeria's subnational government has been invaluable. A lot of my colleagues that are going to come up right here now will attest to that. And I want to acknowledge the chairman of the Progressive Governors Forum and governor of Imo State. Please give a big round welcome to Governor Hope Uzodinma, who will also be joining us on the stage very soon. And to all my brother governors, for coming to grace what we believe we're all baking a bigger nation for our country. And all the reforms that Mr. President is leading, and we've seen and we know that all of the encouragements coming from the federal government, we're all committed to ensuring that we do better results and outcomes. Lagos stands ready to collaborate and to partner with other state governments. The federal government, our development partners, the civil society, and the media. While there is plenty of room for healthy competition, we're also keen to stress the dividend of bold cooperation. An important note as I close is that this summit is structured around outcomes. The deal rooms of this third edition have been well curated to function as engines of the summit. We believe that we'll be running in parallel with our plenary sessions, and the pavilions will be open over the next 2 days. This, we believe, will bring together an invitation-only basis. It will create a development for our financial institutions. It will give our export credit agencies a chance to listen to the subnationals that are here. We believe that it will also present opportunity for project sponsors. It will create transaction advisors. All of you are here, capital market experts, investment bankers, and all of our lawyers and legal institutions. They are all here. We believe that there are a lot of opportunity in infrastructure, in aviation, in marine logistics, in industrial zone, in gas, in energy, in renewables, healthcare, digital infrastructure, and large-scale urban development. So there is something for everybody, and so we must all stay back and be part of it. On the third day, we'll also have the opportunity of driving you around Lagos and to see and feel the cultural importance and what the city is truly becoming. I believe the singular goal is to spotlight and to mobilize financing for the most consequential investment decisions across public and private sector that Nigeria truly deserves. Very importantly, this summit will carefully track every deal room commitment through to financial close with a clear commitment and an unwavering eye on execution. I think it's the Madam Secretary General that says that there's nothing other than to take these commitments to execution. We will judge success not by the powerful speeches we made here or by the impressive turnouts or even the headlines commitments, which we have no doubt will be remarkable, but by the concrete investment that will create jobs, that will transform life, and that will take the opportunity to each of our communities in Lagos and in other subnationals and beyond. As I close, let me once again thank Mr. Vice President for gracing us with his presence. Let me thank members of the local organizing, my Honorable Commissioner, my Deputy Chief of Staff, Mr. I. Boje I. Imokwere, for all the great works you have all put to this. And I want to thank every delegate from far and near for honoring us with your presence. I invite you, while here, to commit to enjoying the color and the hospitality of Lagos. What you saw earlier today, that's just a little dot. You know, don't be scared at all. That is our mother, Lagos, telling us that they've given us all the permission to go ahead. And where that creativity comes from, there's so many, you know, that we can take to probably just entice you. But we're truly happy with the hospitality that we're presenting in Lagos and what Lagos presents to Africa. I thank you all for your kind attention. God bless Lagos State Government. God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. God bless the Commonwealth and all of our partners. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Babajide Sanwo-Olu, the Governor of Lagos State, and we want to thank the Governor and his administration for their tireless efforts to show that the policies are serious and that investors must know that your investments will scale. Your projects are ready here for investment in Nigeria's economic powerhouse, Lagos State. Thank you very much, Your Excellency, for really underlining why we're here. Now, if I could ask you to take your seats, please. I noticed entering, my sharp eye noticed His Excellency Hope Uzodimma, the Governor of Imo State, is here with us. Now, we go into the Governor's Investment Showcase. Sometimes they say the whole of Nigeria is in Lagos. So you're going to get a little treat now, because we're going to call up a number of governors who present investment propositions in a rapid-fire, disciplined, evidence-based format. But before we do that, I'm going to call to get us started, to fire the gun, the Honorable Minister of Finance and the Coordinating Minister of the Economy has graced us with his presence today. So please give a robust round of applause to His Excellency Taiwo Oyedele.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, Lagos. Your Excellency Senator Kashim Shettima, GCON, Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, my governor, the Governor of Lagos State, and our host, Mr. Babajide Olushola Sanwo-Olu, Your Excellencies, Governors of Nasarawa, Abia, Imo, Plateau States, Deputy Governors and other governors here represented, the Honorable Minister for Aviation and Aerospace Development, my brother, and other ministers here present and represented, visiting heads of government, Secretary General of the Commonwealth, the Chair of the Commonwealth Enterprise and Investment Council, Secretary General of the African Continental Free Trade Area, members of the diplomatic community, investors and business leaders, captains of industry, representatives of development finance institutions, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. It is my distinct pleasure to join you today for the Governor's Investment Showcase at Invest Lagos 3.0. Let me begin by commending Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, the government of Lagos State, and partners, especially the Commonwealth Enterprise and Investment Council. Platforms like Invest Lagos are vital because they move us beyond high-level rhetorics to practical hard work of connecting capital with execution. We are particularly honored by the presence of His Excellency, Mr. Vice President. Your attendance underscores the premium the federal government places on private sector development and the critical role of subnational entities in driving national transformation. There's a shift to subnational growth, and that's why we're focusing on this. For decades, the conversation around investing in Nigeria focused almost exclusively on the federal government. But in the recent past, and particularly today, that narrative is fundamentally changing. The future of Nigeria's growth story is being written in Lagos, Kano, Enugu, Uyo, Abeokuta, Ilorin, Kaduna, Lafia, Owerri, and Umuahia. We are embracing a simple reality that while national reforms create the enabling environment, it is our subnational government that converts potential into projects, investments, jobs, and tangible economic outcomes. Lagos continues to set the pace. Just 3 weeks ago, like Mr. Governor said, I joined Governor Sanwo-Olu to commission the Kasi Hyperscale Data Center, an investment supported by the Nigeria Sovereign Investment Authority. That project is a testament to what happens when vision, policy consistency, and private capital converge. Africa is home to 9 tech unicorns, startups that are valued at $1 billion or more, 5 of which are from Nigeria, all headquartered in Lagos. So if you are in doubt whether Lagos is the most consequential city in Africa, like Mojibade said, you got the answer right there. But this is not just a Lagos story. Across our federation, governors are actively competing for investments, harmonizing tax laws, digitizing public services, and building robust public-private partnership frameworks. Investors do not invest in abstract countries. They invest in specific projects, cities, industrial clusters, and logistics corridors. Incidentally, all those are in states. But let me tell you about the macroeconomic stability that is enabling the reform progress. We meet at a time when global capital is highly selective. Investors are searching for three core pillars. They want predictability, they want competitiveness, and of course, profitability. Nigeria has made a deliberate choice to build all three. Over the past 3 years, the federal government, under the bold leadership of our President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, has undertaken some of the most significant, difficult but necessary economic reforms in our modern history to dismantle structural distortions. On the monetary side, we unified the exchange rate, transitioned to a transparent, market-determined foreign exchange market, and diligently rebuilt our external reserve, moving from a net of under $4 billion just 2-3 years ago in 2023 to over $30 billion net and nearly $50 billion gross today. Yes, we should clap for that. The structural resilience of our economy is manifesting. Despite global economic and geopolitical headwinds, Nigeria recorded a GDP growth rate of 3.89% in the first quarter of 2026. In 2025, in US dollar terms, our economy grew by 11.2% and is on track for another double-digit growth in USD terms this year, ranking Nigeria in the top 10 contributors to global GDP growth rate for 2026. I have just returned from Invest Africa Summit in London. The global capital markets are taking notice. Just last month, S&P Global Ratings upgraded Nigeria's sovereign credit rating to B with a stable outlook, the first upgrade in over a decade, following positive outlook adjustment by Fitch and Moody's. This independent validation signals to global markets that Nigeria is steadily regaining macroeconomic stability. And we have the fiscal revolution, smarter tax, stronger states. At the core of our strategy is a comprehensive fiscal reform. For decades, a fragmented tax framework imposed heavy compliance burdens on businesses. Today, we are building a simpler, fairer, and highly competitive system. We have consolidated dozens of overlapping taxes and levies into a streamlined framework. We have enhanced our VAT administration to grant, wait for it, full input credit for investment. We have introduced incentive for priority sectors and established taxpayers' protection through the Office of the Tax Ombudsman. Let me emphasize that our goal is not to tax more, it is to tax smarter, raising our tax to GDP ratio from just about 10% a couple of years ago to at least 18% over the next 3 years by stimulating economic activities and expanding the informal sector to formalize rather than suppressing economic activities. Crucially, our new tax reform laws are specifically designed to empower subnational acceleration. The new framework assigns a greater share of VAT revenue directly to states, exclusively allocates stamp duties, including electronic money transfer levy, to state governments, and provides full tax exemption for state government bonds to drive local infrastructure development. We highly commend the states that have already enacted the state tax harmonization law to eliminate multiple taxation and protect vulnerable taxpayers. Moving forward, massive opportunities remain in land reform, simplifying titling, and unlocking the deep capital trapped in real estate and property taxation. But we need to move beyond conversation to real deals and transaction. Reforms, however, only clear the paths. It is investment, enterprise, and jobs that create true prosperity. Too often, brilliant opportunities are known, but insufficiently prepared. Investors are highly interested, but cannot navigate the entry points. Projects exist, but they are not bankable or investment ready. To bridge this gap, the Federal Ministry of Finance is establishing a Nigeria deal room to transition from conversation to actual transaction, and we'll be learning from what Lagos State is doing. The platform will serve as a coordinated pipeline to identify strategic projects, eliminate regulatory bottlenecks, reduce the investment risk premium, and directly connect credible capital with investment-ready opportunities. Let me make a direct call to investors. So the sovereign wealth funds, development finance institutions, private equity firms, pension funds, and corporate leaders in this room today, Nigeria remains one of the most compelling long-term investment destinations globally. We possess a young, hyper-digital, and deeply enterprising population. We represent a dominant anchor market for continents integrating under the African Continental Free Trade Area. When you invest in a Nigerian state, you are investing in the future of African commerce. The federal government is fundamentally committed to crowding in private capital, not crowding it out. We're here to ensure that your long-term capital is protected, your enterprise is rewarded, and your growth is sustainable. In conclusion, the future of Nigeria will be built by states, project by project, and partnership by partnership. As we begin this session, we will hear from the governors, not merely a presentation of aspirations, but investment propositions. We will hear opportunities in infrastructure, manufacturing, agriculture, logistics, energy, technology, tourism, housing, mining, and industrial development. We will hear from leaders who understand that attracting capital requires more than ambition, it requires preparation. I encourage you to view today's presentation not merely as speeches, but as invitations. Invitations to engage, invitations to explore, invitations to partner, and most importantly, invitations to invest. At the center, we will showcase and amplify best practice standards across subnational governments, from measures designed to promote ease of doing business, regulatory reforms, human development, infrastructural investments, and to sound public financial management, including innovation and technological development. The federal government stands fully ready to act as your partner in unlocking this next economic frontier, as we remain committed to providing the macroeconomic stability, regulatory certainty, and policy consistency necessary to support long-term investment. Thank you, and I wish you all a highly productive, successful, and profitable summit. God bless you all so you can invest. God bless our states so they can be ready for investment. And may God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria so we may continue to provide the enabling condition for investment to thrive. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, and God bless you, our Honourable Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister. At some stage, where there'll be more than 20 investment-ready projects in a secure, invitation-only environment involving not just Lagos State, but several other states as well from across Nigeria and the private sector. Now, the conversations on this stage matter, but the real test is whether they move into the deal room and forward into execution. So I think the measure of success of this summit is not what really we say on stage, but what gets implemented in that room and in bilateral meetings afterwards. So, on to the next part of the program, which is to hear about those deals. We're so honored to have some of the most powerful, dynamic governors in Nigeria right here in this room today. You're going to hear a rapid fire précis of exactly what their states have to offer. And I am not going to moderate it. I'd love to moderate it, but instead they got someone better. They went all the way to Atlanta to CNN for your moderator for this session. Please welcome Zain Asha.
Thank you so much, Mark, for that introduction. I just want to start, before I get to this panel, I want to say a huge thank you to the Governor of Lagos, Governor Sanwo-Olu. Thank you so much for having me. I love being back home. And the second group that I really want to thank is the local organizing committee, because you would not believe how much effort, how much hard work has gone into this event, from coming up with a concept to sending out invitations to really making sure the program was suitable for what they wanted to achieve. And I understand the governor was personally involved in this. And many members of the local organizing committee told me that they have not slept in 4 days. That is the amount of effort that has gone into this. So this is going to be a little bit different, this panel, because obviously this entire morning you've heard all the different reasons why we should invest in Lagos. Now we're going to hear from some of the other governors across the country. There's going to be 4 minutes. Each governor is going to be speaking for about 4 minutes, talking to you about why you should invest in their state. Please welcome the governors on stage, and then we'll get started.
I want you to come forward a bit.
Okay. All right, please welcome the Governor of Lagos, Governor Sanwo-Olu. Please welcome the Governor of Abia State, His Excellency, Mr. Alex Otti. Please welcome the Governor of Imo State, His Excellency Senator Hope Uzodinma. Please welcome the Governor of Nasarawa State, His Excellency Sule. And finally, please welcome the Governor of Plateau State, His Excellency Ba Mutfwang. All right, so as I mentioned, each of you is going to have 4 minutes to talk to this room about why they should invest in your state. Mr. Governor of Lagos, as host, we're going to start with you. Talk to the room about one important investment opportunity in Lagos, the scale of it, and what you've done to de-risk.
Thank you very much. Okay, well, it's on. Thank you very much. And first, let me thank my brother governors who are on this panel. I think we working together is our country working together. And so there are no losers, there are no winners. We're all as subnational, just encouraging our citizens, and we're hoping that we can use this platform to galvanize investment into our country. And once again, also to thank Mr. Vice President for gracing us with so much time today. We indeed are not taking it for granted. So we're here. This is Lagos, and I think every other thing up until now has been around us. Zain, it's nice to have you. But what are the things? Part of the challenge of a big city like this is for us to be able to have a plan where people can feel. We can bring out all the best policies, we can bring out all the budgets, but two things is, do we have the capacity to execute everything? Do we have the resources to fit into all what our plans and aspirations are? So when we came in, we put up a policy called Teams Agenda, which sits for traffic management. You see a lot in Lagos, transportation, public transportation, health and environment, education and technology, making Lagos a 21st century economy, entertainment and tourism, and security and good governance. And we added a plus into it, which now secures social inclusion, gender equality, women, youth and everything. So in all of that economic policy, there are strong drivers. We want an efficient, effective, public sector, reform. We want to have infrastructure development at the highest level. We want to have a human-centric, city. So in all of these nice things, how do you fund this? Where do you get the funding for it? Part of the things we've done in 7 years is that we've been aggressive on what we call our internodal public transportation system. How do we unlock the potential moving citizens of Lagos from one point to the other and reduce their travel time, their journey time? We've been able to activate that by putting in our infrastructure in rail, in waterways and public transportation. But we've not added it to finish. We have our plan for 6 rail projects. We've only been able to do 2. So there's opportunity for investors here to activate the remaining 3 rail infrastructure in Lagos. There's a green line which the federal government is supporting us. So we still have the purple line, we have the yellow line, and we have the orange line. Each of these rail corridors are on their own a deal maker. They are on their own, things that people can run with. We have opportunity in waterways infrastructure as well. We're currently enjoying some credit facility, but we still have a lot of opportunity because 1/3 of Lagos is water. So we believe that if we solve transportation issues in Lagos, what we're doing is we're unlocking the economic potential. So travel time will be completely reduced. People can get to one point or the other easily, quicker and faster. And so it has incremental effects on our citizens. It keeps money in their pocket, but they're able to do and transact better. And the private sector can indeed track their investment because the numbers are there, the population is there. And so the numbers will show that you make the needed return on investment. So that's there. So on public transportation, there's opportunity in rail, there's opportunity in waterways. Let's move quickly, right? In technology, right? I know it's a driver for the private sector. Today, we're building what we call not just data center, we're building fiber connectivity around the city. We're doing about 3,000 kilometers of fiber. So what we're expecting from that is for the private sector to bring in more data center, because the future is AI, the future is technology. Yes, we said that the unicorns are here, but we need to have more infrastructure in place. So there's still a lot of opportunity to scale in terms of data center, in terms of hyperscale data center. We've opened one, but there's still huge opportunity in technology, in data, infrastructure and the rest of it. The next one will be in the area of agriculture. You say that we're a tiny state. What are are we doing in agriculture? Because one of the strongest security that is also affecting the world is food security, right? So for us to feed 22, 23, 24 million people, we need to be able to secure where that feeding is going to come from. So we're building what we call a central logistics park on our own, but we need additional investment to take that our audacious movement to take it to completion. So there's a lot of opportunity, and I hear Afro-Exim is here on special agro-processing zone, which will activate and unlock potential in agriculture. With 24, 25 million people, you know that this is a ready market. You know, we consume the largest number of red meat in the country. So we need a lot of processing plants. We need a lot of, agro-processing opportunity that is there. You know, the regular things, we will always take that. Education, health, there's opportunity. But we will always continue to carry, on that. So to give my other colleagues opportunity. So there is huge opportunity in public transportation, in rail. There's huge opportunity in technology, in renewables. So when I say technology, you can also take it to energy. Energy transition, energy, for all is real. Today, we consume about 40-45% of the national grid. And it's still not enough. We believe that the energy demand of Lagos, they're currently meeting only about 50, 40, 45, 50%. So there's still a huge gap, right? We believe from our calculation, another 3,000, 4,000 megahertz of energy, if you come into Lagos, we will use it. So there is opportunity for energy in terms of, renewables, in terms of solar, in terms of, and we have gas also working on. So there's opportunity in gas, in energy, there's opportunity in transportation, there's opportunity in technology, there's opportunity in agriculture. So let me stay there for now. Thank you.
Okay. And, just in terms of, obviously, as you point out, the priority is technology, agriculture, public transportation, and just in terms of the knock-on effects on the economy, you think about public transportation, it affects so many different aspects of the economy, from productivity to people's livelihood. Is that the priority, or is there one particular partnership that Lagos wants to strike in that area?
So that will be the priority. We want to be able to solve our people's problem. And if you have 1,000 naira, if you ask them from 1,000 naira, what percentage is on public transportation? It's a huge percentage, about 45 to 50%, and that's huge. So we want to bring down that cost. So they want to be able to increase and improve their economic efficiency, and they also want to reduce their travel time on the road. So that will create a better economy for them. They can stay, at home, or they can stay in other things and do other things, and save money from public transportation. One of the strongest things we have is our numbers. So how do we activate that number? How do we unlock it into a viable business potential? So that is a major driver. And once that happens, the effect of it is that our people will move quicker, economics will be developed quicker, taxes will be paid, and by extension, the benefit will come to government further down the line.
There is an important trickle-down effect. Thank you so much, Governor. Okay, let's turn to Abia State. Mr. Alex Otti, the floor is yours. 4 minutes to talk to the audience about one investable opportunity for people here today.
Just one?
You can do many as long as you keep it to 4 minutes. How about that?
Your Excellency, the Vice President, my colleagues, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, let me start by thanking my friend and my brother, the Governor of Lagos State, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, for inviting us. It may look simple, but the truth is that it takes a lot of selflessness to invite other states, thank you, to take advantage of a platform that you have paid for, you've created to market themselves. And one thing I'll assure you is that I will not demarket you as I market myself. Lagos is a mega city. Actually, if you ask me, I would say it's overpopulated, and that's why it becomes necessary that other cities begin to grow so that they can take what Lagos cannot take. And that's where we come in. We are not going to compete with Lagos. We can't be mega city in the next 10 years or 15 years. But there are things we can take off Lagos. For instance, in Abia State, one thing we have is population. Population linked to markets. And the population is an entrepreneurial population, an enterprising population, resilient people. People who can create anything at all. It may not be finished in a sophisticated manner, but at least they will create it. Just show them. Take to Ariaria market, they will produce it. It may be a barmaid, yes, but they will fake it until they make it. So, thank you. So when we started about 3 years ago, exactly 3 years ago, we had to hit the reset button and set a 25-year development plan. And we are following that plan. The most important for us was transforming the markets. And there are a lot of them. We've started with a Koha. Ariaria market is also undergoing transformation. And there are a lot of other markets. And our people can stay in the market for 24 hours if they have power. Therefore, we faced power. Luckily, Geometric had been there struggling for 20 years. And let me use this opportunity to thank the Vice President for untying all the problems that Geometric had and coming personally in February 2024 to commission Geometric Power after 20 years. Today, Aba as an island that includes 8 more local governments, literally off the national grid, and Aba has been ring-fenced as an island, and they have 24-hour power as we speak. We moved from there to Umuahia, and we sat down with Enugu Disco, and today we have signed the agreement to move the remaining part of Abia State also out of EEDC. We set up the Abia State Electricity Regulatory Agency, and what we want to do is to have control of power in our own hands. We believe that Geometric at maximum capacity of 188 megawatts would have excess capacity, and we can just wheel it to Umuahia and other parts of the state. And by God's grace, in a few years, we should also guarantee 24-hour power supply in Umuahia and other local governments. Now, why does this matter? It matters because a lot of manufacturers, industries, about 60 to 70% of their cost is in power, is in energy. So when you see, I got a call from somebody yesterday that wanted to relocate a steel plant that had been built in another state. In fact, he told me that he spoke to my brother, Governor Jide Sanwo-Olu. I'm sure he knows who I'm talking about. And he's built it, but he has no power. And he's looking for where you can guarantee 24-hour supply of power. And I say, please come. I've already allocated 5 hectares of land to him close to Geometric. So the plant is going to move. Now, what other areas are important? Roads. In the last 3 years, we have built over 400 kilometers, 400 roads, different roads. We've just put them together. Actually, it's 414, measuring about 864 kilometers. We have another 82. Thank you. We have another 82, measuring about 211 kilometers that are ongoing. We just want to provide the enabling environment for our people to do business. And of course, in the area of transportation, we launched 20 electric buses that started on 23rd of December 2025, and they are running in the whole state now. We have another 20 electric buses coming from China. In fact, they have just been loaded a few days ago, and they'll be here by next month. What are we trying to do? We're trying to make it easy for people to move throughout the nooks and crannies of the state on good roads with reliable electricity. So where do we need investment? Healthcare. Today we have been rated as the most health prepared state in the country, and that's SBM 2025 report. That's looking at how much money we have allocated per capita on healthcare. In the last 3 years, we have allocated 15% of our budget to healthcare. Now, we have about 277 primary healthcare centers that we have refurbished, and about 135 of them have been functionalized. We keep functionalizing them as we get all the materials and then the human beings. We've hired about 800 healthcare professionals. Some of them came from outside Nigeria to work in Abia State. So we have about 7 general hospitals that we are rebuilding. And of course, we have the tertiary hospitals, the Abia State University Teaching Hospital in Aba, the Specialist Hospital in Amachara, Umuahia, and then the one at Umunato. Where do we need help? We need help with our vision to build a medical city in Abia State. We have acquired 200 hectares of land for it. We've prepared it. We've built the road. But we need about $1.3 billion to put that in place. If it is true that every year we spend about $2 to $2.5 billion on medical tourism, it could be more than that, then we are not greedy. We're just saying if it is $2 billion, maybe $200 million should come to Abia State. So if you need to go to, instead of flying to Dubai, flying to India, Turkey, and all that, you just come to Abia State. So that's what we are working on. And it will be helpful if we get people who are interested in investing in, and it will make money. Sometimes people think healthcare is free lunch. It's not. It makes money over time. So it has to be patient capital. Of course, another area we need investment is in the Abia Industrial and Innovation Park. It was interesting to listen to Afrexim talk about industrial parks. So I'd like to engage with my sister who, by the way, worked with me when I was in Citibank. I think that's what the lady that the gentleman represented. Yes.
Yes.
So I'd like to engage with her so that we can work on the industrial park. The industrial park is in Owaza, where we have oil and gas. Of course, there are a lot of other things that we can talk about, but I think my 4 minutes is gone now.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
You can see me looking at you, smiling, like, okay, let's wrap it up. We've got only 4 minutes. Okay. You know, and to be fair, you're asking for a lot of investment in healthcare. And by the way, judging by what you've done in electricity, 24-hour electricity, that is no small thing. That's a huge achievement. And so it would be a smart bet based on that alone to bet on Abia State. So if an investor comes and decides to put a large amount of money in healthcare in your state, what will be verifiable to them 12 months from now?
We've done the studies, and maybe what I'll do is to share what we've done. But then, like I said, it's going to be patient capital. Healthcare. So over time, the people who ordinarily will go to the US today, if you don't have a visa to the US, you'll probably not be able to go to the US in the next few months because there's a visa ban, right? Okay, so that has got that of all the people that used to go for healthcare needs in the US. But then there is Turkey, there is Dubai, and of course India. India is a mixed bag. You get from the profound to the profane in India. So if you are going, and I'm not demarcating them, but I know what I'm talking about. So if you have a reliable center in Abia State, which we believe we will have in the next few years, then we will turn the traffic. Instead of going 6 hours, 10 hours to Dubai or to Turkey, 30 minutes, 45 minutes, because we're also building an airport in Abia. And by the way, thank you, Honorable Minister for Aviation, for all the support you've given us. We still require more, but the runway is the runway is on as we speak. They are building the runway. So I may not have the exact figures here, but I know that I'm looking for $1.3 billion.
Okay. Thank you so much, Your Excellency, Alex Otti, Governor of Abia State. Okay, let's turn now to Imo State. Your Excellency, Hope Uzodimma. The floor is yours. 4 minutes, please, sir.
Okay, thank you so much. Is it 4 minutes or 10 minutes?
It is 4 minutes. Preferably less, actually.
Your Excellency, the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, distinguished Senator Kashim Shettima, GCON. Your Excellencies, my colleagues, governors, respected personalities and members of the private sector here, gentlemen of the press, ladies and gentlemen. I couldn't have been anywhere else today but here for this opportunity to tell the Imo story. I would therefore want to thank and commend the Governor of Lagos State and the Commonwealth Enterprise and Investment Council, the organizing committee of this occasion, for the opportunity given to me to speak on how best to attract investment into my state and by extension Nigeria. Before I start, the meaning of IMO is investment meets opportunities. That is IMO. When we came to office in 2020, we met a state with the old ways of doing business, where the government will want to build industries, become the industries, operate industries, and handle businesses instead of governance. The old way of doing things. And that model never worked anywhere in the world. And it was designed to fail, and it failed. So we'll change the narrative and now charge the government with the business of providing the environment where business will thrive and to allow businesses to be manned and handled by the private sector. We did a comprehensive study of how to create an economy in our state and to create a trajectory of growth. We took advantage of the commendable reform policies of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, that enabled subnational government have a headroom, resources to now prepare the environment for businesses to thrive. We started with infrastructure. We connected the major cities with very good quality roads. As we were about completing that, the federal government devolved the power and gave subnational governments the opportunity to provide electricity. Immediately, the Electricity Reform Act of 2023, we set up an electricity regulatory commission and licensed Orash Electricity Company of Nigeria through a public-private partnership. Now in Imo State, we generate, we transmit, we distribute electricity. We have provided electricity to the serious industries around the state capital, connecting electricity to the senatorial headquarters of Imo State under Phase 1. We at the state capital enjoy 24 hours electricity provided by Imo State. By the second phase, all the local government areas of Imo State will have steady electricity. Nigeria is boasting, part of its boost to have a greater and more robust economy is because of the natural endowment of natural gas. And the natural gas in Nigeria majorly is deposited in Imo State. What did we do? We created an energy free trade zone licensed by the federal government of Nigeria. The only free trade zone in Nigeria with hydrocarbon deposit. We created an industrial park where industries that will require gas as raw materials, petrochemical plants, fertilizer plants, LNG, gas processing platforms in this region, and introduced an infancy status for companies that are coming new that will enjoy 10-year tax holidays and some other incentives. At a time we were challenged by security, we took the bull by the horn, collaborated with federal security agencies. In Imo State, you can do your businesses now, day and night, irrespective of where it is located. We partnered with multinational companies. The Energy Free Trade Zone located multiple locations. The Afrexim Bank has sited and is near completion a quality assurance center in Imo State for agro exports out of the country. We immediately rehabilitated Imo International Airport for both cargo and manager for day and night operation. Only last year, we started direct international flights from Owerri Airport. So we have not only repaired the roads, we have not only prepared and upgraded our international airports, we are now dredging Orash River into the sea, so that when you come to do business in Imo State, you move by land, by air, and by sea. Having said that, we've been able to provide an environment where investors can acquire land, get the title documents, get the C of O within 24 hours. We digitized our land administration. So at any part of the world you are, you can verify the authenticity of the land you have acquired. In the area of technology, Imo State has built an Imo Digital City that is the most robust digital city in Africa, headquartered in Owerri. And when you come there, what do? We have graduated over 65,000 startups, young minds in various digital skills, out of which over 70% are already working or doing their own private businesses. Our broadband penetration is still under 50%, and an opportunity for private people to come and partner with the government. Our new business model is public-private partnership. The reason for our participation is to give security of people coming to do business in Imo State. So Imo State is the investment destination. Only last year, we organized an international investment summit that attracted personalities from all over the world. Ban Ki-moon, former Secretary General of the United Nations, Boris Johnson, former Prime Minister of Britain, the President of Liberia, the former President of Mauritius. From the private sector, we brought heads of banks. The people are the President of Afrexim Bank, Aliko Dangote, all of them have businesses in Imo State now. And our tax regime, we have harmonized our tax system, removing all duplications in tax payment. So the ease of doing business in Imo State has been rated so highly that it is now investors' destination. In the area of tourism, we renovate and build our old Concord Hotel, and by the 1st of August this year, Hilton's Hotel will start operations in Owerri through our management agreement with Hilton Group. So we have done our best. We have created all the enabling environment and support that will enable investors to come into Imo State. And the security insurance companies that used to charge very extensively to companies doing businesses in Owerri as a result of insecurity and other considerations have now brought down their premiums. So I invite all of you to Imo State. In the area of solid minerals, we have limestone deposit, kaolin, and so many other solid minerals that requires investment. Imo State will no longer be a place for only raw materials. We urge investors to come. We will give you the environment to do your businesses, process our raw materials, create jobs for our people, and then make your money, because we also believe on return on investment from the capital market. So I think that is so far what we have done. For want of time, I want to invite interested investors to have side-by-side, sideline discussion with me, so I can tell you more juicy opportunities awaiting your invite to Imo State. Thank you.
Your Excellency, that was a very wide-ranging pitch, because there's so many different areas. It definitely wasn't 4 minutes, but a very wide-ranging pitch on so many different areas, including electricity, the digital city in Owerri. I do want to talk about the ease of doing business, because that's a big thing for investors. I know you already touched on it, but just talk to us about how the ease of doing business and the business environment in terms of regulation, red tape, how has all that changed over the past 10 years in Imo State?
As a guide, we have an industrial policy which serves as a roadmap for startups from the point of concept to the study, engineering, construction, and commissioning. We have a guide. For the last 10 years, we actually have a very ambitious program of a $1 trillion US dollar economy. And we are going to leverage from our proposed partnerships with federal government. Like I said here, before 2020, the travel time between one point in Imo State to another point usually takes 3 to 4 hours. But as I speak, there is no part of Imo State moving from the state capital, Owerri, that you cannot get in 40 minutes. Because we have almost tied all the roads in Imo State, connecting cities and neighboring states. Imo State sits at the middle of one of the largest markets in the eastern part of the country, Onitsha Market, Aba Market, and then the oil city of Port Harcourt. In these 3 cities, there is none you cannot get into from Owerri in less than 30 minutes. And that is the market we are talking about. The national endowment, which we are blessed with, the hydrocarbon, the oil and gas. We have 9 world-class operating oil companies in Owerri. We can boast of the best hotels in Owerri, Imo State, in the whole southeastern region. So doing business in Imo State has been so interesting, and the investors are excited. But you see, the best way to describe it is that seeing is believing. The reason why I am here, to invite investors to come and see the opportunities in Imo State for themselves.
Thank you. Thank you, Governor. Okay, let's move on to Nasarawa State. We welcome Governor Abdullahi Sule. You have 4 minutes to talk to investors about why they should look at your state.
Thank you very much. I think you have been talking about the 4 minutes. I don't know if you ever got it.
No, nobody's doing the 4 minutes.
Yeah.
Please try.
Your Excellency, the Vice President, Your Excellency, the Governor of Lagos, and all the other colleagues of mine, the governors, Honorable Ministers, Your Excellency, the wife of the Governor of Lagos. Let me stand there on the existing protocol. Let me join others, the Governor of Lagos, for thanking you for inviting us. As a matter of fact, the presenter said that you took it upon yourself to ensure that you even call everybody. So for me, I know you have called me about 3-4 times, to convince me to be here. So I think you have done a fantabulous job for that, and I want to thank you sincerely, for what you have done. I'm not going to repeat what an investor needs because of my background. First, I returned to Nigeria working for an oil company in Houston, Texas. And during that period, we look at Nigeria actually as an oil country, not even remembering that Nigeria is really a gas country. So when I came with that experience, going to be a governor, to be able to do that. Then after being the managing director of African Petroleum for 6 years, I understood again the importance of Lagos, because all the oil companies had their headquarters right here in Lagos. That's why I call you my landlord. Next is actually the opportunity, that I had with the Dangote Group, where I was a group managing director. And then we had the opportunity of going to about 11 countries looking at cement and agriculture. And so I understood the challenges, of going from one place to another in order for us to understand the challenges of investors and what investors need. Those are the experiences I have carried into Nasarawa State. So on arrival in Nasarawa State, I actually went with a document which was prepared by KPMG. Maybe Kulli Alebute is somewhere here. Let me thank him for preparing that document for me, which we use in understanding the areas of competitive advantage for Nasarawa State. We didn't want to just go into everywhere. We wanted to look at what are the areas that are going to be of competitive advantage for Nasarawa State, rather than just saying we are going to do ICT, we are going to do tourism, we are going to do that. So that document prepared us and helped us to be able to come up with another document, which set up our investment company. So our investment company is actually a one-stop shop. And for you to understand the ease of doing business when it comes to Nasarawa State, when I came into the state, we were about number 32 in the country, because people saw us mostly as a state, mainly, for civil service. The mentality about that is wait for federal allocation at the end of the month. Once you receive it, you share it, pay salaries, this and that, everybody go to bed. And this is a state called State of Solid Minerals, which means you have all the 7 critical minerals that you are looking for in the world today, all in Nasarawa State. So what we did was to come up with that. So what did the investor need? Again, similar to my experience with the Dangote Group. So what we did, remember, today we are all celebrating the oil refinery at Lekki. In reality, that refinery, when we were there, we wanted to set it up in Ondo State. It was not even meant for Lagos. It's because of the few challenges that were being faced there that it now relocated to Lagos. That Sanwo Babolu is actually so excited now. And if I knew he was going to be governor, then I would have said, okay, no, let's go to Nasarawa State instead of Ondo State. So those are the challenges you face. So why did Lagos State had all these advantages and all that? People actually are not looking at that. We came in, again, just like the governor of Abia State said, not to compete. As a matter of fact, I came in to invite people like the governor of Lagos, that he's using his sense of not looking at the other states as competitors, but as partners. Because we build all this based on partnership. Today he is talking about building a hub for agriculture, but I know there is no land to do true agriculture in Lagos. Therefore, the land is in Nasarawa State. So we go into partnership. Today, the biggest rice company, both in agriculture by Olam, is in Nasarawa State. Today, the biggest sugar company that you have is actually in Nasarawa State, owned by Dangote Sugar, 68,000 hectares of land. If you take 68,000 hectares of land, you are taking Ikoyi and Victoria Island put together. So for that reason, we will not compete with Lagos. We will not supply the material to Lagos. And no, I'm not even inviting the other investors. I'm inviting Lagos to come and be partner so that we can go ahead with that. So that's the direction that I'm going. You see, and I think this is the way, to go. My brother, our chairman of PGL, has told you that it takes him 40 minutes now to go from Owerri everywhere else. It doesn't matter even if I fly flyovers, it will take us nothing less than 2 hours to drive to other places. The reason is because of the size of the state. We are sitting on a 27,000 square kilometers of a state. And what do we have? Agriculture. We are just called State of Solid Minerals with no solid minerals facility whatsoever. So what did we do? We went ahead and went into a partnership with the federal government because the licenses for solid minerals are actually allocated or issued by the federal government. But the land belongs to Nasarawa state government. So we say, okay, if you want to come with your license to go through our land, to go through the solid minerals, we need a relationship with you. So we came up with an initiative and then a law to back it up by saying that anybody who is mining in Nasarawa state must also process in Nasarawa state. By coming out with that law, today we have the biggest lithium processing plant in Nasarawa state. We have now one bigger than that about to be commissioned by the president. Again, that one that I told you the biggest today is called Avatar, is 3,000 tons per day. The other one is 6,000 tons per day. And that's why for the period that we are talking about since we came, we have attracted in solid mineral and agriculture and in the area actually of real estate, we have attracted over $2.3 billion in investment, coming into the state. But we must show seriousness on our own part. And that's why last month we had our own investment summit. We started, actually we had our own 3.0. We had to go faster than Lagos because we want to be their partners. So we knew they were having their own this month, so we had our own last month. And I want to thank the Vice President actually for being here. The Vice President was also there, and we had all these big names also that were there because they have investment. But we tested something. We said that if these people are truly investors, if they believe in our state, in Lagos it's easy for him to say that investors, we want you to get gold sponsorship, silver sponsorship, this and that, but not a state like Nasarawa. So for that reason, we say, let us test that. So when we tested that, our entire investment summit for Nasarawa state for last month, which is our 3.0, was sponsored actually by our investors. We did not have 1 naira from Nasarawa state government put into that. And that tells you that the investors now believe in us. As a matter of fact, next month, July 28th, I'm being invited to China. One of the companies that is already processing their lithium in Nasarawa state and taking the concentrate, they are now establishing a company that produces the battery in China. And they want me to come and commission that so that they can understand that is material coming from Nasarawa state. But I'm not stopping at that. I'm inviting them to come to Nasarawa state and establish the same company to take the second stage processing so that we can take it from there. And let me conclude actually by saying that I want to thank my dear friend, he said his state is Lagos, but his state actually is Nasarawa, our Minister of Finance, for actually coming up, using and believing in what the president's economic reforms are. And working with that today, before he became minister, he was actually economic reform troublemaker. So we work with him, and based on that, the reforms have generated so much revenue that today most of the states are able to carry out most of what you see we are doing without borrowing a naira from the bank. So that's why every opportunity I have, I thank Mr. President for taking the bullet on behalf of the states by having those resources in our hands. So for a state like Nasarawa that I came in 2019, generating just 7 billion in a whole year, which Lagos can generate from Apapa in 3 days. I was in Apapa, so I know Apapa very well. So this is exactly the issue. So I'm using the opportunity actually. Today, by the way, we have tried. We last year 2025 we generated about 39 billion. So we are moving in the right direction. But you see, the idea is that in order for you to go to know where you are going, you must know where you are coming from. You must back them up with a vision. So the vision of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu when he was governor, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, I want to thank the governor. I want to thank the governor for sustaining that vision that today we are able to see the Lagos that we are seeing today. So I thank you very, very much, and may God bless you.
Thank you so much, Governor Sule. Okay, we have to keep it moving because we are out of time. So I want to move swiftly to the Governor of Plateau State. Your Excellency Caleb Mutfwang, you have the floor. Thank you.
Thank you, Zain. Thank you, Mr. Vice President, for honoring this occasion.
Thank you, Governor Sanwo-Olu, for inviting us over here. This invitation is a validation of our position as one of the emerging economies of northern Nigeria. I say this also because from a very low ranking of 29 overall in the country, the ease of doing business, we have moved steadily into the first 10 bracket. This afternoon is an opportunity for me to present to you what I call the plateau advantage. I come from a private sector background as well, as a corporate lawyer, having been involved with many corporate entities. I knew that the strategy for business has to be public-private partnership, and that has been the model we have adopted. And so we identified 3 key economic drivers: first, agriculture; second, tourism; third, mining. Tourism aligns with our name as the home of peace and tourism. But let me be specific on agriculture. We believe that we have the potential and the capacity to contribute greatly to Nigeria's GDP in food production, leading to food security and ultimately food sovereignty. Presently, Plateau State feeds the whole of Nigeria with what we used to call Irish potatoes, but today we call it Plateau potatoes. We feed the whole of West Africa. And even our neighbors in Chad and Niger, it's from Plateau State they get their potato supplies. But we, having grown as a son of a farmer, I knew the pains my parents and grandparents went through, and we decided that we must revolutionize that sector. And therefore, having fed Nigeria and our West African neighbors by producing nearly 7 tons per hectare, we have set for ourselves an ambition to move from 7 tons per hectare to 20 tons per hectare. And we are walking the talk, because one of the key ingredients in moving from 7 tons to 20 tons is seed multiplication, getting the right seedlings. And I'm glad to inform this esteemed audience that we have been building a tissue culture lab financed by the African Development Bank for the last 7 years. But it almost went bad. But to the glory of God, today we have rescued it, and it's 95% completed. So, apart from potatoes, everyone here in Lagos must have tested Plateau vegetables. We are the biggest suppliers of fresh vegetables across Nigeria. One of the challenges we've had in that sector is the non-provision of infrastructure for storage. And so we have a lot of vegetables that go bad easily. And today we are discussing with many investors across the economy on how to invest in cold chain facilities. And I'm sure that many in this room will find this a very attractive proposition. We having studied from the challenges of phase 1 of the Special Agro-Processing Zone financed by the African Development Bank. We have spent the last 2 years trying to avoid the mistakes of phase 1, and we are privileged to be among the states that were approved for phase 2. And as I'm talking to you, we have negotiated and acquired 500 hectares of land centered around the airport, which the Honorable Minister of Aviation is here, graciously approved to become a cargo international airport. We've signed an MOU with the Federal Airports Authority of Nigeria, and I'm sure very soon we'll be having a conversation on how to improve the facilities at that airport. We also have the dry inland port around the same ecosystem. And by Monday next week, I will break the ground for the first meat processing center that we are going to put in the agro-processing zone. We are building a new ultra-modern abattoir, so we are moving it from outside the city into that economic zone around the airport, because we are targeting that will not only feed Lagos, but will also export to the Middle East. At the center of the abattoir is that we are trying to leverage on our advantage as one of the best places to breed cattle in Nigeria. So we are starting an ambitious project in livestock development, trying to convert conflict to profit. And we are hoping that in the next 2 years, we would have been able to develop the value chain across the livestock sector, from feedlots to fodder lots, the logistics around it, and of course the processing center. So there's a lot of investment opportunities across the value chain. We are hoping that the improvement in the agronomy of feeding cattle with such a huge economy that is yet to be exploited, we are leveraging on our advantage. Of course, in tourism, we are looking at the opportunities that our weather and our climate provide. We are also hoping, we are working on it. The feasibility studies are almost concluded. We are trying to ensure that we build our capacity in health tourism. Apart from the advantage we have in our physical assets. Sorry. Okay, then I'll soon conclude. There's so much to say, but let me say this, that Plateau is open for business, and I'd like to offer this opportunity to the great investors in this room. 2 years ago, I was looking for 200 million naira. Today, if you give me 1 billion, it will be spent and turned to profit on the Plateau. Thank you.
Thank you, Governor. And thank you to all 5 governors on this stage. And I do want to say, I do agree with what Mr. Otti said, that it is a very selfless thing to do, to use your platform to highlight other states. So thank you for that. And thank you for listening. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you, Zane.
Rise with Africa, where the capital flows and the deals are done.
Moment when the world starts to pay attention. For Lagos, every city has a moment when the world starts to pay attention. For Lagos, that moment didn't arrive suddenly. It has been building for decades. From its early days as a coastal trading post to its role as a colonial administrative center, Lagos became a point where commerce, culture, and capital met. Its port connected Nigeria to the global market. Its market shaped regional trade. Its people built one of the most active commercial systems on the continent. Over time, Lagos didn't wait to be discovered. It kept expanding, structuring, positioning itself. It stands at the center of economic activity in Nigeria and remains a key gateway into West Africa, yet many still engage it at the surface. Invest Lagos is focused on helping investors access Lagos through structured investable pathways. Invest Lagos 3.0 is where those pathways are engaged, explored, and activated. This is Lagos.
This is the podium beside me. Yes, we are seconds away from hearing from our man of the hour. But before we do that, I'd like to just get a few words from a tireless worker for Africa and Nigeria's future and investment. The Honorable Festus Keyamo is our Minister of Aviation. I yield the floor to you, sir. Yes. We want to hear from you. Round of applause. I seem to have blindsided you, but I know that you will rise to the occasion.
Thank you very much. I will speak extempore because I was not told about this at all, not even a 1-minute hint. Mr. Vice President, Your Excellency, the Governor of Lagos State, the other governors here present, our visitors from all across the world, thank you so much and welcome to Lagos State. Lagos State is one of the busiest, if not the busiest, traffic hubs in terms of air traffic in Africa. 67% of the entry into Nigeria by air is in Lagos State. 67%. From the 5 operational international airports we have, and I think the 2 more that this administration has added. We have added Akwa Ibom and of course Borno State. Maiduguri is an international airport now. The first international airport in the Northeast that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has given the people of the Northeast, the Maiduguri International Airport. Now, so we have added 2 more to the 5 that were existing. But in all of this, 67%, not 50, not 40, 67% of the passengers come in through Lagos State. And that's to tell you the attractiveness of Lagos State in Nigeria. Out of these international airports, Lagos is well positioned in terms of geography in the whole of Africa to be the hub of the entire African continent. In terms of geography, and I'll explain why. Lagos is equidistant to most of the major capitals across the world. Just 6 hours across the Atlantic, you'll get to South America from the Lagos airport. 6 hours down, you'll get to Southern Africa. 6 hours to the Middle East, you'll get to Dubai or Qatar. 6 hours up, you'll get to Europe, either France or London, and all. That is the equidistant, advantage that Lagos also provides as a hub, the whole of Africa. So we will soon catch up with hubs like Addis Ababa, with hubs like Togo, even Togo here, because it's a hub for ASCAI. The government of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has invested a lot in aviation, has shown enough attention, to aviation. The president has approved $500 million, not money borrowed, from his sweat, from the sweat of the savings of the country to rebuild the hub, the airport in Lagos. $500 million. That's the investment. And it is turning that airport that is 50 years old to a marvelous hub. You'll be very proud of what you see in Lagos in the next 22 months. That's the kind of attention that the president has paid to the airport in Lagos State. We are also planning to extend the rail line that ends at Ikeja bus stop. We are working with the Lagos State government to extend that rail line all the way to the GAT, the local, all the way through Bicopney, and all the way to the international airport. That rail line is about to start. It's the extension of the rail line. And we're working with the Lagos State government on that. So Lagos is just ready for the next big step in terms of its aviation activities. It's ready for the next big step. Even a 20-year-old dispute that we had with a private investor in Lagos in terms of the airport in Lagos, 20-year dispute that successive governments could not resolve. It was the government of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu that brought that dispute to an end. And so, we are ready. There will be no question, no problem. This government, apart from the federal government, the Lagos state government too, they have shown tremendous support for private investment. There is no dispute regarding private investment that we met on the ground, even beyond the aviation sector. I'm sure you saw the ones too with the oil sector. There's no private dispute that has been lingering that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has not resolved since he came to office in terms of private investment. So welcome to Lagos. I welcome all of you, and I invite you to please invest not only in the federal government-owned airport in Lagos, but the private airport that Lagos State is trying to float in Lekki, the Lekki corridor. I invite you to invest in it. Thank you, and God bless you all. Did you catch me unawares?
No, you were wonderful. So basically you're saying Lagos is flying high.
Absolutely.
Lagos, our aviation minister, give him a round of applause. Thank you so much. Now, before we hear from our keynote speaker, none of this would be possible without our supporters and our partners. And I want to quickly recognize a few of them. The government of Taraba State, Plateau State, Imo State, and Niger State have been strong gold partners to Invest Lagos 3.0, as have Access Bank, First Bank, and CCECC. Our strategic institutional partner is Afrexim Bank, and our silver sponsors are Aridex and Toleram. We have pavilion partners, which I'll tell you about later, strategic partners and technical partners, and I want us to give a warm round of applause. It's not easy to put something like this, and it's not cheap, so give them a warm round of applause, please. Now, you've heard this term, and you probably read it as well in the brochures and all the materials, presidential scale investment. Essentially, you heard from the Minister of...
That was the live proceedings from the Invest Lagos opening ceremony here in Lagos. Newsday returns in a moment. Do stay with us.
What happens here...